Hello there, welcome to Thrifty Journal Shop. My name's Amber. If you are new here, welcome and thank you so much for stopping by. Today I'm going to share a flip through of two of my large style glue book junk journals. These have both been spoken for, but I always like to just share my flip throughs with you for inspiration or ideas. So these are pretty large books. This one's 12 inches. I know some people like to know that, by 10, and this one's 11 by about 10 and a half, 10-ish. So what I did with these, I'll go through this one first, the night before Christmas. So for these large style glue books, junk journals, I like to make a wraparound flexible spine. And I use that using usually I use like a canvas paper or a paper sack or a file folder, and then I cover it with fabric and I sew all around it, and then I chain stitch it to the cover of the book. I just think that this is a gorgeous book. It's non-traditional colors, which I just really like, very colorful. And so the spine here, I use, this is a quilt scrap. Here, let me just take these out of here so I don't fly everything around here. Okay, so that is what the spine looks like. So what I did was, this is actually a scrap from a quilt, and I just sewed it on some other scrappy fabric and just sewed it all together and then attached it to the spine. So you have a very large spine. I would say that this is at least a 3.5, 4-inch spine. I like to give lots of space to create, so you can see that you can still really chunk up this journal. I just think that that's great. So there are 3 signatures in here, 120 pages in total, and that includes front and back. So with this glue book junk journal, I have added some extra pages. So with this, I have added the book jacket that came on the book, and then I just have a mix of different papers. Some of these will be out of the 80s books that I made glue books out of. A lot of these are from 80s craft books, cookbooks. I have added other children's book pages. Here is a napkin. And then I've got this really cute Peanuts Christmas book that I added some pages to. And then in here is just a fun little packet with all sorts of funness. I've got some Holly Hobby tags. I'll open it up and show you this one. So a lot of vintage stuff in here. This is a vintage tag. This is a cute little vintage tag with the little girl and the kitty cat. Some stickers. I love these. These are Holly Hobby. I've got a doily. I have a napkin. I've got another little Holly Hobby. There's just one of my altered cards I made, another vintage tag, some stationery in here. And then this is like, I think, a banner, and that is vintage also, I believe. So I just added all of these to this little packet. So just some fun extras for you. I left these journals, these glue books, pretty bare bones. I didn't over decorate these. So inside here, this does have the whole original story, and I did include it. And some of the pages have some scribbling from probably a little young artist with crayons. So I didn't put a front pocket here because I just wanted to leave the inside cover. I thought it was really pretty. 1983. You can see the quilt scrap from the inside. In the back here, I did make a fabric pocket. I do like adding pockets so you have some place to tuck things. And then I did line this because there was quite a bit of scribbling here. I did line this with some vintage wallpaper. And then I included, this is a vintage Christmas card, some more stationery. This is just a bookmark I made using some scraps and collage. And then another vintage stationery sheet. That'll all be tucked in there. So original book page, lots of pretty colors in here, scrapbook paper, More children's book page. This is from an Avon book. I hinge all of these pages together, and a lot of times I use my offcuts. When I cut down the pages, I just reuse those, so it pulls color out. Stationery, 80s book. I've got a couple vintage, really pretty ideals books, and that's what this is from. I added a little playing card pocket tuck that I made, and I just had these little pretty tags peeking out. This is some vintage stationery. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. This is a vintage little golden book. Stationery. So there's plain papers in here too for writing if you want, or creating. A cookbook, more of the ideals page. So pretty. I did add like a scrappy fabric pocket with some snowflake trim, and then in here is another piece of stationery, and this is a vintage recipe card, 1973. More stationery, very pretty. This is from that Avon book. I believe that was from the 80s. Children's book. This is some double-sided scrapbook paper, nice and thick. Original book page. Now we're on to the second signature. So see, there is some scribbling here, but that's like authentic and real. This is a junk journal glue book. You could always cover that. This is double-sided scrapbook paper. Here's a vintage playing card. Original book page. Here is some music paper, some Christmas music paper, more ideals, original book page, really pretty illustrations. I love that with the gingerbread houses. Here's some deli paper. I added some pages from another children's book with some winter themes. Here's some Monopoly money. I did add a sheet of my painty paper in here. This is a little cute book about the little red fox. Another winter scene. Just really pretty with the trees and the snow. More of the gingerbread houses. Original book page. Actually, I think that this might be a page from another vintage Christmas book. I don't think that this is the original page. Ideals, yeah, this is the original page. So I just pulled pages from a variety of Christmas books. Then here is an envelope that I sewed on, and I just added this Christmas card. You've got all this space to create. More scrapbook paper. We're on to the third signature. I added some book pages from this beautiful bird book I have. I thought that was just a gorgeous page with that owl and the winter scene. Beautiful. Original book page. Here's a little tag with Santa. This is a Christmas cookie book. Here's a large doily. I love this paper. It's vintage. It's from the 80s, but you have all that writing space if you wanted. Original book page. Here is some vintage wallpaper. More original book page. This is a page out of some kind of craft 80s book. The wallpaper. And then I had this really pretty ribbon, this vintage ribbon. I just thought it was gorgeous. So I did add just one strip in here of some ribbon. More writing space or creative space, doily, the Christmas cookies. Just a beautiful book. This is from another A Night Before Christmas book. Original book page. And then that's the back. So that is this one. So just a beautiful book. You got all this space to just glue, glue, glue. All right. Then the next one I have is the Decorating Craft Ideas for Christmas 1983. And This also has 3 signatures, has a large fabric wraparound spine. I chain stitched it here. This has some of the original book pages in here. This also has 3 signatures with a total of 128 pages front and back. This is going to come with a lot of the same things, stickers, a bunch of those vintage tags. I added this little bookmark that I made. And then also some of the original pages from this book. And whoops. This is the book jacket that I'm including. And so I just added a lot of really fun papers, a lot of colorful papers. There's some coloring book pages. Look at that. You could fussy cut. So just a lot of pretty pages. And that will be included. So in the inside here, I did cover the inside of this this glue book with scrapbook paper because it was pretty plain. And then I added a fabric pocket with some rickrack. And then I just added some stationery. You've got this little vintage Betty Crocker recipe card, 1971. I thought that's just beautiful. A little playing card. So all of that will be in there. And then in the back pocket here, or in the back here, I left the back of this plain, so you could put pictures here, or you could glue, or you could add your own pocket or tuck spot if you want. So this is some bird book page with that really gorgeous owl, some ideals. This is a vintage Christmas book, and then I just added a little tuck there, children's book page. Just love those little kids. A page from The Night Before Christmas, another book that I had. 1981. I had some requests for some writing space in here, so I did add lots of stationery. I've got this pretty stationery, and then I made a pocket here with this really pretty, some kind of ribbon. This is vintage, and then in here I just put some more stationery. You've got a vintage book page, a children's book page, and this napkin. And I added this little paper sack. I added some pages from some other children's books, some winter themed books. This is from a newer edition of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Just thought that was really pretty. The other part of the paper sack, you could always cut this so you have a place to tuck something in. This is some of that vintage stationery that I have. And I added this little playing card tuck there with some tags in there. Night Before Christmas page. So pretty. And then here is that gorgeous trim. I ran out of this. I couldn't put it in all my glue books, but I just love it. Double-sided scrapbook paper. The little wolf book, or sorry, the little fox book. This is some ideals. This is some double-sided scrapbook paper. Now we're on to the second signature, more stationery. This is some original book page out of one of the 80s books. It's nice and thick. Added a vintage playing card. So this is the book. It was Memories 1988 with this faded vintage looking paper that's nice and thick. And then you have all that place to write. A doily, ideals. Added a little tag. This is from some type of craft book. I love this book. This is a farm. I think it's called the Farm Journal. It was a vintage 1970s cookbook. Just had really bright, vibrant pages in it. It's gorgeous. Music paper. We've got some stationery. Got some vintage Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer papers. More from that cookbook. Just beautiful. Some Monopoly money. This was out of the back of one of the 80s books, and you could always color that if you wanted to. The doily, writing space. And then I made a flip here. So you've got all that space. 1988. More stationery. Now we're on to the third signature. And this I attached on an envelope, and you've got this really pretty Christmas card there. Some vintage wallpaper. This is from A Night Before Christmas. Thought that's a beautiful picture of Santa. This is from that winter book with the fox. Craft book. Gingerbread house. More 80s. Little cat. This is some deli paper I just did some painting on. The little kids making cookies. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. More writing space. And I love this picture of the, looks like Grandpa and the little boy. Very pretty with the fox. Night Before Christmas. There's this other side of the wallpaper, and then there is that vintage, another sheet of that vintage stationery that my mom gave me. I think it's from the 80s. It's nice and thick. So that is the Decorating Craft Ideas for Christmas 1983. Just a fun glue book, junk journal, and it comes with all of these goodies. So that's a flip through of two of my other creations. I hope that this gave you some inspiration and some ideas if you're looking to create your own glue book, junk journal. All right, guys, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate all of you. If you like what you've seen, please hit that like button, leave a comment down below, consider subscribing. I hope you get outside today and find some beauty, and I hope you find some time to create for yourself. I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.